Welcome. This is Mary Apollo. We are here at the UN General Assembly at this session. We had one of their side events about 30 years after Beijing and human rights. I'm joined by, we have a wonderful guest today, Her Royal Highness Princess Dr. Moradeun Ogunlana. She is the CEO and a founder of African Women Projects International Global. Welcome, Princess, to the Four Direction.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me and all the great work that you're doing at Four Directions.
Thank you. First, your organization, you founded the African Women Project International Global. What motivates you to start it?
Actually, the story goes back over 20 years ago when I actually saw a woman, a mother of, she had about 6 children with her at that time, that was literally dying of breast cancer right before our very eyes. And still at the same time, she was still trying to feed a baby that was less than 2 years old. And then you have other children over there that were hungry. But clearly you could see that she was battling a real life-threatening ailment, which was breast cancer, as we later discovered. And I think that was a moment where, I jumped right into action. Because one of the things I do believe is that each and every one of us can do something. We can help. Prior to founding the organization, my work, my things I was doing at that time was really about fashion and about showcasing my African culture, African fashions to the world. That was my main purpose of coming here, of doing it at that time. But there was that pivotal moment when I saw that woman and I saw that she has all these other children. And upon even talking with her further, I realized that she has 6 children, all under the age of 9 years old, and she's never actually had pap smear. She's never done a pap smear. Most of the children that she had, she was one of the few lucky ones that can literally just pop out a baby just like that, but still yet, still dying silently. So, so this woman, our case, one of the things I found out later on, learning into more of why the case was so, was that a lot of women, in the sub-Saharan African countries, in a lot of those rural areas, a lot of them do not have easy access to healthcare. Most of them do not go to the doctors until they are almost dying. And in the case of this woman, she was literally homeless because she was living in a box and children were around her. And the reason why I found her was because one of the child, the oldest one, he actually came to where we were picnicking on the side of the beach, and he was eating from some of the food that we had thrown out. So seeing the face of that little boy, how hungry he was to be eating from the sand, including sand and all, and then to now, once it was discovered, to now try to put the food in his starter shirt, so that he can take some over to the other siblings that were there with the mother. So following them and seeing that, and that was when that's when we started the African Women's Health Project International. And one of the things, when I saw that, and that was in Lagos, Nigeria, when I saw that, I knew that something had to be done. So when I came back to the US, and because I have a solid group of friends and colleagues around me, most of them that are actually in the medical field. So, and a lot of them too, even in the mission field, a lot of them, they are in the religious, mission field. They love to be able to give out to do things, both Muslim and Christians and whatever. So I just gathered them around, and that's why we have the African Women's Health Project International, and I'm happy to say that we just celebrated our 20th anniversary this year.
Congratulations.
Wow.
So on this sitting that we're here, this is part of our ongoing celebration of our 20th plus anniversary of the African Women's Health Project
Oh,
International.
congratulations. But my question is, why women? Why do you choose to support women exactly?
Well, I believe that, I know, not even believe, I know that women are the core center of the nation, of the world. Within a woman holds everything, you know. And the reason why is that when you look at statistically, in the continent of Africa, we have more women than men, right? We have, and a lot of women are more vulnerable to a lot of things. Because even when you look at even the crisis that's going around all around the world, women are more susceptible to it. They are the ones that is impacted much more than. Because even when you have men go to war, the women are the ones that actually hold the home down, and hold the home down. You know, so some of them end up being widows. Some of them, you know, they are the caregivers. You know, and God forbid the men they lose their life and all that stuff. The women are still the ones that carry home, that will have to carry on the pieces, the rubbles that's left behind. So women's issues is very dear to my heart. It's very close to my heart, and it's something that I think that I know that it needs to it needs to be close to everybody's heart. And another thing also too is the fact that, you know, when you talk about, and that's one of the reasons why at the center of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or even before the Sustainable Development Goals, when you talk about the Millennium Development Goals that was done before the Sustainable Development Goals, at the center of it you have the women equality, because women are disproportionately, you know, we are at the short end of the stick when it comes to it. And so we are doing this, all this to make sure that, you know, women are empowered, not only just for their own family, to, you know, to take care of the children. They are the main basic caregiver, because even if the man goes out to work, the woman is the one that runs the home. The woman is the one that nurtures the home. The woman is the one that nurtures the children. The woman is the one that nurtures the man. So the work of a woman is something that is so crucial. That's so crucial. She's the basic one that actually everything flows out from her. And that's why it's so important to really propel this idea of women empowerment and women development. So the reason why even the work that we do, we do take care of everybody else, but we're very specific in design, because we know that we have to create a structure whereby women will be dying, and they will be taking care of their family. They'll be taking care of the mother, the children. They'll be the mother, they'll be the wife, and they neglect their own self.
Mm-hmm.
A woman is like this machine. I call them the superpower machine that's in a woman. They're just really something that's even innate in her. That's part of her, whereby she will literally give her life, to take care of others. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that these women are around longer, not to give their life, but to make sure that as they're taking care of everybody all around them like this, that they take care of themselves also too. And that's why even the messages that we're passing around is all rooted in that.
Oh, wonderful. So you are also the founder of Innovative Global Consulting, where you have this wonderful project of 259. Tell us about this project. So
the Africa 259 project initiative is so dear to my heart. First, I need to mention the Innovative Global Consulting. That is so African Women's Health Project International is my humanitarian work. It's the work that I was purposed on this earth. I believe I was purposed on this earth to do. Because if I don't do it like this, I will literally just not be right. The Innovative Global Consulting is actually an infrastructure development company. That's my company. That's where the money comes from, of course. So what when I started that one is really rooted in bringing businesses and connecting businesses that wants to have presence in Africa and vice versa, from all around the world. So by the special grace of God, I've been able to have my footprint not only just in the United States of America right here, but also to the United Arab Emirates, in Qatar, in Oman, and in Egypt, in a lot of the MENA region, as well as looking to establish something in Saudi Arabia very soon. And I think and all of it all go hand in hand with my women empowerment projects, which I'm doing, and which in that also too we put together the First Ladies Forum, where we actually host First Ladies platform for economic development, because we do believe that for women to be empowered, you have to be economically sound, and that is so rooted in that. Now come to the Africa 259 project. That was something that it came alive in 2021. I was brought in as a special guest of honor by Hadideg, and that's the Abu Dhabi, the largest gathering of oil and gas experts in the world, and it takes place in Abu Dhabi in the UAE. And I was brought in as one of the guest speakers. I spoke on that global stage. On the same stage with Shell corporations, BP, all the big names, right? And one of the things, and a lot of the conversations over there was rooted around the climate actions, and really getting to climate, to see into climate resilience and all that stuff. Those are the conversations around that. And whilst having dialogues with them, I saw that there was a big void for the continent of Africa, and this came about when we are at a leadership roundtable, and whereby there was a CNN, I think CNN is one of those, but she's one of the anchors, and she was talking about the climate action plans that's going on around the world, where they've already decided that this is what's going to happen over here. This is these are plans that they put in place. And she was saying for countries and she mentioned different countries, the United States, the UAE, the different places, and then she said, and Africa. So when she said Africa, that triggered something in me, whereby I was like, okay, let's slow it down for a second. This is actually a continent. So with 54 stand-alone countries in there, and all that stuff. So and a lot of it is not, they're not doing it maliciously or anything like that. It was just that the fact that there's not been a voice, a cohesive voice that's going to actually create a plan for the motherland, for Africa by Africans. And that's the reason why we still have a lot of programs that works in the western part of the world. They will just slap it on the African continent, and it never works, and it's never successful. And the reason being why it wasn't done with the climate, knowing that the issues of the Western world is different from the issue of a regular in the rural area in Africa, where in the Western world you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, water is there, everything is there. You go to the bathroom, make a coffee and all that stuff. I mean, even me, living over here in America, I'm so used to that. But in some African area, in some African countries, in some areas, you literally, you wake up in the morning and you have to go. They have to go far to go fetch water. To cook for your family, you have to first fire up the firewood and do this and all that stuff. So there's a lot of different elements. you both wake up the same way, but what you have to do to get that basic necessity is not there. And so that's one of the reasons why. So I now formed the Africa 259 project, using the Sustainable Development Goal as a guideline. The SDG 2 is zero hunger, knowing that if we can actually eradicate that, the first SDG and the second SDG, they go hand in hand. They eradicate poverty and, of course, and zero hunger. So we figure that if to tackle that, we need to definitely tackle what Africa is very rich in, the agricultural resources that we have, which is massive, that can feed not only just Africa, but it can feed the whole world 3 times over. So why don't we do something about that? So, and then 5, which is the gender equality, knowing that the women, knowing that, we need to definitely, knowing that the population of the women, of course, is far greater, and knowing that even in the agricultural sector, as farmers, women make up the majority of those that actually go to the farm to collect the crops, to go sell it in the market and things like that. Then the SDG 9, which is infrastructure development and innovation, and so we want to utilize the new technology, which is something beautiful that we have at our disposal, and the fact that we are building the new Africa, we're building the Africa of our future, the Africa that we want to have now, this present moment. And one thing that we have is technology. And so we can actually build, so when we're building, we incorporate the technology. So that was going to make us go fast and far. And actually incorporate that and to actually have the result that we want to have. And the Africa 259, so we believe that when we take care of all those 3 areas, and then the next step is to get the presidents of each of the countries in Africa, the African countries, to actually sign on to the Africa 259 declaration, and send in a representative that's going to sit on the board. So the board will consist of 54 board members, each company is represented. And the way we structure it is such a way that you have the government, which is the one that's going to be sitting. Then you have the civil society, which are the people that the people that are moving things, moving work, communities and all that, so grassroots and things like that. And then you have the private partnerships, which are the corporations that can provide, say for instance, they need to build a school here. We want to make sure that we have a partner in the mix that can say, okay, well, this school, we can build this school, this is what's going to happen, and then we raise the fund to make sure that it happens. And so that's what the Africa 259 is.
Wonderful project, but I'm wondering, like, how can this project generate jobs and also most of the creative African that we have in the industrial sector, and then we can be able to have goods that we export to the world outside and make income for the continent.
And once what I've even outlined here, once we set out to do that, that automatically job creation in itself. Because when you look at the agricultural sector, we have to have, even when we bring in partners, outside partners, and we collaborate with them, we make sure that that whatever is being done on Africa is done by Africans. So even if they bring their big tools and we want them to transfer that knowledge into the African, the regular African that's over there, the youth, and they're going to be part of the training, whatever, so that whatever knowledge is brought into the continent stays in the continent, and then if they need resources on ground, there's nobody that's going to come on there without actually having a local partner that's going to have local workers and things like that. And even if they bring their experts need to train those local workers, so that, and that's one of the ways we believe that we can have sustainability and ongoing. Yes, and workforce development is a big part of it when you look at the SDG 5. So when we're talking about the gender equality, women empowerment and things like that, you cannot talk about women empowerment without having youth development.
Exactly, and that takes me to a very important point, because you organize the First Ladies Forum, you bring most of those women who are in the diaspora. How can women in the diaspora support those women in the continent in terms of development and empowering them?
Yes, and that's why we're so big on collaborations. That is what now we are inviting. The Africans on the African continent and the diaspora to actually work collectively together. Collaboration is the new currency. Collaboration is the currency that is needed for this new age and for this new age, and to actually have the advancement that we want. It's a currency that needs to be used and utilized, and if it's not, you are leaving a lot of money on the table. So we're going to, so a lot of the things that we want to do, of course, we want them to collaborate with each other, like the businesses that are over here, maybe they want to have a presence over there and vice versa, or maybe women that are over there that's producing cocoa, shea butter or something like that, to collaborate with ones that are over here to see how they can be able to, let the work be a bilateral type of work, as opposed to, okay, then let me buy whatever cocoa butter that you have. Let me buy it so that I can refine it over here and all that. They sell it to you at a high price. No, that was in the old days. In this new age and in the new structure that we're putting in place, we definitely want to make sure that whatever that's being done, there's a bilateral dialogue going on, and that's and real empowerment happening, because that's what is needed. And real economic development happening right there on the continent of Africa.
Great. So, Brice, you received many awards internationally and also from the continent and globally, Lifetime Achievement Awards, and then you have like Excellence Awards and Royal Leadership Award. What does that mean to you when you get an award recognition from an institution, from a country, from a group of people?
I mean, I just really thank God, because it's just really a recognition of the work that we're doing. But one thing I just know is that, of course, they see there are a lot of work that we're doing that they're recognizing, but there's a lot of work that we're doing that they don't even know, but that we have to do in some sensitive areas and all that stuff that we will want to. That what gives me the joy is the fact that a woman needs help, a mother needs help, and I'm able to provide that. Whether through me or through my network of colleagues, friends, collaboration partners, and things like sponsors, whatever, any which way. Recently, we were at Bagada General Hospital, where they don't even, right now and this is ongoing right now, where I saw firsthand, we're trying to rebuild the maternity ward, because we found out that even the maternity ward that is in there, you have 2 birthing stations only, and you have more than 20,000 women that comes in, every month to give birth. So, and with that in itself, there's a big deficit there. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to appeal to partners and people that can join with us, hospitals, clinics, or pharmaceuticals, or whatever, people that have those resources that can join hands with us and give, so that we can be able to provide those resources to them. Because you have there's another one too, whereby in the premature unit, where they have preemies, the children, you have a lot of them dying just because they don't have so the pack the CPAP machine that's needed. That's usually they use it, usually once the baby is born and all that, so they need to have that. They need to be able to put the baby in a good, conducive environment, with the machine, with the proper machine. And some of the hospitals don't even have it, or maybe they have one. And you have 20,000 people having babies and things like that. So one of the areas that we want to definitely bring about some changes, bring about some succor, is to be able to provide all these life-saving machines and to them. So that's what gives us. That's what gives me. That's the award in itself. Just see the face. That's the award in itself. And of course, when people recognize you, it's a good feeling. Because we are human beings. And each and every one of us, whatever it is that we're doing, whether we want people to know about it or not to know about it, but once we are recognized for it and all that, so you are appreciative and you are full of gratitude for people seeing you and seeing the work that you do and knowing that your heart is in it. Yeah.
So you grew up in a royal family. How does that inspire your leadership personality in life?
I think as a royal, I think you're born knowing that you have there's something over your shoulder. And I think I remember it from when I was little, that it's something that that you're not just a royal just for fancy, but that the people that you are leading or that are in your community, you feel responsible for them. I mean, I'm looking for the right, you haven't even stepped your feet into. So making sure that, your name carries the highest form of integrity and whatever, it's very important to me.
So what was one of the African proverbs that is close to your heart?
Well, because I'm so big rooted in collaborations, right? African proverbs that says, if you want to go far, you go alone. But if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together.
Okay. What are some of the challenges that women face today? Because we still have a poor representation of women when it comes to leadership. What do you think the solution for that, and what are some of the challenges and the issues that are holding women back?
One of the things I think that's really at an advantage for us women now is that this new age of technology, using technology for our benefits. Of course, we have quite a lot of challenges. And not only that, we have the challenges that we have. A lot of it, we're doing a lot of things it's almost treating the issue on the surface, but we need to go deeper. And when we say we want to go deeper, I believe that one of the ways that we can really advance the movement of women empowerment and whatever, and really the advancement, is really creating a new set of mindset for the new generation of women and men that are growing up. Because man's perceptions, because if there's any disempowerment of women, is usually done because there's an empowered man. But I think we can change the narratives, because when growing up, I remember where for the boys it's a set of rules, and for the girls it's a set of rules. I think we will start conditioning, recondition, and redirecting the way the set of rules that are given when the children are young. And that's the reason why even when we do women and girls, and we do girls, girls education and all that stuff, What about the boys?
Mm.
If we don't train them the proper way now, they're gonna turn around and be the exact same one.
Mm.
So we, and me as grandmothers of boys, it's very, very important to me that boys are put, the right information is put in their head when they're young, like this also. Yeah, so a lot of the work that we need to do, the reason why we're still having a lot of, almost like we take 3 steps forward and you take 4 back or something like that, is because, we're not treating it at the root. We're doing a lot of surface things. And as soon as we start treating and looking at all the things that happens in this life, even when you talk about women, you talk about violence and things like that. And looking at it that, even when you talk about violence and all that stuff, it doesn't necessarily mean only to women. It means, there are men that are subject to those type of things. So let's start looking at things holistically. So if we start looking at things holistically, I'm pretty sure we're going to definitely, we'll start moving the inch. Because we have to create a structure that is sound, that is based and fair. So when we create that and all that, so we'll start to see that the result we get will be a different one than what we've been getting.
Okay. I have a question. Like Africa will be leading the global industry and economy. What do you think?
Absolutely. It's already doing it. Africa's future is now. The future is not, because we always say, I was saying, the future is Africa and the future is now. We are creating it. We are creating it now. And one of the things I'm super, super delighted in all the dialogues and all the conversations that we've had over here at Hunger 80, during this, even before the General Assembly started and all that stuff, the conversation, the dialogue, is to see such a big representation on Africa, on the continent, and really you see the power, the enthusiasm that goes into it, both from everybody from all around the world, embracing it and really, fighting alongside, working alongside, side by side with us, to create the Africa we want to have. Yeah, so I'm loving it. I love it. This is the best time, and like I said, technology is definitely the biggest friend of Africa right now, because whatever it is that we build is going to be built with future technology, the AI technology and all that stuff into it. So that means we can go faster.
So what are you expecting the outcome of Hunger, and how will Africa look like in 2050?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. 2050. Oh, that's a beautiful question. So, okay, how long we have? We have 25 years. 25 years. In 25 years. Oh my God. That is a beautiful question. Now, one of the things I'm seeing right now is that we already see the passion, the enthusiasm is here. We have all the main ingredients for the great Africa return that we're all hoping for, that we all will have. So I can tell you in 50 years, in 5 years, in 5 years, by the time we go to 2030, the Africa we have now is going to be different in 5 years. So talk about in 25 years, 20 years after that. Oh my God, the future, talk about futuristic, the flying planes, the flying cars, all the different things. I mean, all of that's going, and I know it's not going to take that long. And then what you will see is that, and what I would love to be able to see, because you have such a beautiful land mass and beautiful greens. I would love to still be able to see some of that beauty, because have you flown, if you've ever flown on a drone on across the countries in Africa, I mean, it's just so beautiful. I would love to be able to see, this is me in the 25 years, we'll be able to still be able to see all the beautiful waves, and still be able to see all the natural, natural, but also too, I would love to be able to see all the skyscrapers. I would love to be able to see all the industrialization of Africa, because a lot of the things come from Africa. The cocoa, the mining, all it's still everything. All of those things come from Africa. I would love for it to be produced in Africa. I would love to have manufacturing companies, huge and all that stuff, whereby and have Africans, leading the new technology age, with the AIs and with the, with all the robotics going on. I would like to be able to see the, that no African child is left behind when it comes to education, when it comes to food. I would love to be able to see hunger totally eradicated, poverty eradicated, because we have what it takes for each and every African child to be self-sufficient, to be nurtured, and to have the power and to have the money. So one of the things that I love, and that's one of the reasons I spend a lot of time in the UAE, is the fact that the UAE government realizes one of these things is that they definitely put the resources behind the youth, because they know that the youth are the ones that are going to be developing the presence, the future that they want to have now, right? So they put the resources behind that. And I would like for us to see our African leaders put huge amount of resources behind the youth development. Not only physically with the resources, but also to even emotionally, and groom them in such a way whereby they can actually create the Africa that we can all be proud of. In 25 years, I'm just going to be around. I'm still going to be, still going to be running things or whatever. But it's the youth, it's the young ones that are just born, or some of the ones that are just born in somebody that's born in the year 2020 or 20 that was born in the year 2000. I mean, that person will be.
Thank you. So you travel all the world. I just want to know, where do you feel belonging, from Nigeria to the US? Where do you find yourself?
I'm a global citizen.
Oh, great.
The world is my home. And so, I do a lot of work, and that's the reason why, like literally, I am a global, I consider myself that, because I feel, because when your heart is with humanity, and your work that you do, it doesn't have a geographical location. It goes where there's a need. And where there's a need, you will find me there. But of course, I come from Nigeria. I'm from Lagos, from Nigeria, from West Africa, from Africa itself to the world. So, yes, so this is the princess saying, I am the princess from Nigeria to the world.
Thank you, Princess. Thank you, Princess, so much.
You're welcome.
For a wonderful interview. Thank you.